Last night, we all witnessed the slap heard around the world at the 2022 Oscar ceremonies. Preceding it, Chris Rock makes a crack at Jada Pinkett Smith. Initially, Smith responded with a chuckle, and then clearly seeing his wife's reaction, decided to up the ante. It's important to consider when Smith is approaching, you can clearly see that the stage is polished to a mirror shine, and secondly, his dress shoes, especially high quality, tend to come with leather soles, which don't really lend to great amounts of traction. The next point is, as Smith approaches Rock, he ends up face to face, his hands are down. Smith is effectively stepping off from this strike before the moment of impact. He moves his left foot somewhere between his 7 and 9 o'clock, which means that he was moving bodily in the direction of the strike, but also away from the strike as far as range is concerned, and as far as his balance and body weight is concerned. So there's a lot there that says that he couldn't have, even if the rest of the strike had been thrown perfectly, he is incredibly limited in the amount of effect that this strike can have. He does have the heel off the ground, has some hip rotation, but at the end of the day, his balance is simply moving away from his target, and that's going to limit you every time, unless your target is moving towards you. Beyond that, his hips are incredibly limited by this left foot step. His right foot does rotate, but it's the left step that breaks this. It's the single biggest thing that he did wrong, or I don't know what his intent was in this. I'm going to assume that he didn't actually want to put Rock down per se, but let him know that what he did wasn't okay. The hands, there was no setup, it was untelegraphed. Again, little commitment, but clearly he wasn't walking on stage with his hands up ready to rock. Oh, wow! The full kinetic energy of the strike isn't being transferred. And then we look at Smith's wrist, which goes somewhat limp at the end of the strike or at the moment of impact, which even if the rest of it had been thrown ideally, one could argue most of that potential would then pass because of the lack of structure on the wrist. I don't think, based on how he moves naturally in the scenario, I don't think that he could have put Chris Rock down if he'd wanted to. Again, there's a lot of factors to assess in this situation, some of them being environmental, some of them being the individual throwing the strike, some of them being the individual receiving the strike.